Visit from Quebec says, please explain to a non-lawyer the different objections, hearsay, foundation, non-responsive, and the judge ruling on it. So hearsay basically means it's you've got an out-of-court statement that you are trying to kind of like bootstrap unreliable information. You're trying to bootstrap telephone essentially by saying, so and so told me, oh, hey Kurt, how's it going? I see you in the chat. Feel free to come on in like maybe like an hour or so as I go through super chats and I have a chance to go through stuff. And Hogue, you guys are all here. That's awesome. Um, so hearsay is basically you're trying to bootstrap a conversation in to prove like, well, so and so said that this happened, so it must have happened. That's like the simplest way that I can explain hearsay. And there's multiple ways that manifests itself, not just in conversations, but also through documents. So technically a text message is hearsay. The question is, does it fall into an exception, or does it fall outside of the technical definition of hearsay? Meaning, why is it being offered into court? So the statement that is being made that's out of court, is it offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, or is it being offered for some other reason? Like is Amber testifying about what Johnny said because it's for it's to show her present sense impression at the time of that incident, to show like what was going on there, oh hey Ann, welcome, YouTube member. Or is that something that that she's trying to basically bootstrap something that he said in to prove that what he was saying is actually what happened. Anyhow, there's also exceptions to that, and there's a whole long list of it. I could probably actually have an entire video just on hearsay. I might do that this week actually. The foundation objection is basically where you have to lay a certain foundation so that we can trust that the information that this witness is giving to us is accurate, and we have good reason for it, right? So if you say like, if someone were to ask Amber, what was Johnny having for breakfast? You might get an initial foundation objection if you say like, how do we even know that he was having breakfast? How do we know that she knows what he was having breakfast? Was she around him? So it's like you have to lay a certain foundation to say, okay, where were you? Like at this time, where were you? I was in the kitchen. Oh, okay. Where was Johnny at this time? Johnny was in the kitchen. Okay. What were you doing in the kitchen? Or what was Johnny doing in the kitchen? He was having breakfast. Oh, okay. What was he having for breakfast? So like you have to ask a certain number of questions to sort of make those steps to get yourself over there so that we can reliably be able to understand that information. So non-responsive basically means that the person who has who's directing the examination, the one that's asking questions, has asked something, and that the witness may have kind of gone off the deep end and never quite answered the question, but given a whole other response. So that was one that was actually very effective yesterday, because every time Amber would respond to Elaine Bredehoft with a long narrative, and it would typically be very emotional, then Camille would just say, objection non-responsive, basically to say she didn't answer the freaking question, Your Honor. So, but without coming across as very, very, judgy or like an a-hole. So anyhow,